The Arctic, one of our planet's last great wildernesses. A beautiful and unforgiving environment. Home to some of the most extraordinary wildlife on Earth.
I'm going on an epic adventure across this incredible landscape. We are having to wind our way carefully through massive icebergs.
I'm Liz Bonnen, a wildlife biologist. I've devoted my life to studying the natural world.
Honestly, the more you learn about any one species, the more humbling it is.
Now, I want to understand how Arctic wildlife is faring in the face of climate change, and how scientists are working to save it.
Climate change here has already been having really profound impacts for a couple of decades.
I've been given a rare chance to join the teams pulling out all the stops to protect the wildlife here by studying it from above.
Stunning, stunning sight.
Using helicopters to track elusive animals.
Sorry, this is way too exciting for my heart.
Deploying drones to make new discoveries.
So you can actually calculate how much fat reserves the animal is carrying.
And state-of-the-art satellites to understand behaviors never observed before. Coming up,
I can see 6 polar bears.
I'll join a team tracking down an Arctic icon.
So the mum is darted. Now they have to get on the ground and jab the 2 cubs.
I'll discover how predators can survive in this hostile world.
I see the wolf. He is booting it.
And I'll have a unique encounter with one of the biggest animals on Earth.
Right under their boat, right under it. It's the Arctic like you've never seen it before. This is Arctic from above.
The Arctic is a vast and spectacular region at the top of the world. Home to a huge variety of landscapes and the species that call them home. From towering peaks thousands of meters high to tundras and forests. From sea ice to the ocean beneath it. Stretching from North America across the far north of Europe and on to the great expanse of Arctic Russia. Across this entire region reigns the undisputed king of the Arctic. Polar bears spend most of their lives on the sea ice. For 8 or 9 months of the year, these magnificent predators roam vast distances in search of their main prey, seals. But when the Arctic summer comes and the ice melts, most bears are forced onto the land. Unable to hunt, they'll remain in a fasting state for 3 or 4 months, waiting for the ice to reform. But now, because of climate change, the sea ice freezes up later each year and melts much sooner. So scientists are in a race against time to work out how this is affecting these iconic creatures. I've come to Churchill in Canada, known as the polar bear capital of the world. The town sits on the edge of Hudson Bay, a vast inland sea that freezes in winter, providing the ice the bears rely on to hunt. But during the summer, when the ice melts, polar bears often come ashore here.
Look at that. That is unbelievable. We're not even 15 minutes out of town, and a mother and 2 cubs who look like they were born this year, so they're probably, what, 8 months old, just on the shoreline, waiting for the ice to reform. Oh, look at that. There's 2 more, 3 more. 3 adult bears as well. This is incredible. It's my first time seeing polar bears in the wild, and it is as special as I imagined it would be.
As the sea ice declines, encounters with polar bears are becoming more common. To find out how the bears here are faring, I'm heading out with one of the world's leading polar bear scientists.
Hi Liz, pleased to meet you.
Good to finally meet you.
Yes,
How are
nice
you?
to meet you. I'm very good, thank you.
Dr. Nick Lunn has been studying polar bears in Churchill for 40 years.
What's the biggest question you need answered when it comes to the polar bears here?
Well, climate change is having a huge impact on sea ice, which is critical for polar bears to survive. So the big questions that we're trying to find out is how the loss of sea ice is impacting polar bears.
Nick's aim is to gather as much data on as many polar bears as possible. The only way to get close to them quickly and efficiently is by air. His helicopter has to be as light and maneuverable as possible for the task ahead, so I'm following behind. As soon as we're in the air, we get a glimpse of another of Hudson Bay's majestic visitors.
Belugas! Belugas! Oh my gosh! They're everywhere, look at them. Oh, it's beautiful.
A few minutes later, Nick and his team have spotted what we're really after.
I can see the helicopter hovering. They found a bear.
With not 1 but 2 bears in their sights, the plan is to dart and sedate them from the air. It requires some incredibly skillful flying and a perfect shot.
Oh my gosh, I can see 6 polar bears. Oh, this is insane. Look at these 4 on the water. And the helicopter's following the ones inland, obviously. You're not going to dart a bear in the water. I never imagined we'd come across so many bears after 5 minutes of flight. Whenever the darting helicopter is on a bear, there's a strict 3-minute limit to the chase. And that's because polar bears are so incredibly well insulated. We don't want the bear to overheat, which could actually threaten its life. So the helicopter is trying to make sure that the darted polar bear doesn't go in the water. Meanwhile, there's 4 polar bears swimming along the shore, just avoiding all the action. The bear is down, so it looks like the drug is taking effect. And the other bear is sticking right next to it. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
I'm with a team of scientists studying polar bears in the wild. They've just sedated 2 large males. The bears will start to come round in about an hour and will be back on their feet soon enough. So the team need to work quickly to carry out health checks and collect samples.
I cannot believe we're going to get so close to them.
Yeah. But
My heart is beating so fast right now. It's such a privilege to be up close to them.
you can see he's been handled before. He's got a tag in his ear.
Touch his ear.
Yeah. You're going to do...
Oh, my gosh.
It's easier to back here.
Oh, my gosh. And look, you can see their black skin. Polar bears actually have black skin, so the black colour absorbs as much heat from the sunlight as possible. White polar bears are actually black.
1,
2, 3. Oh.
There we go. Okay.
How old are these two individuals?
They're probably in their teens because they can live into their low 20s, and they're big enough. And if you look at some of the canines here, they're still pretty good. So he's probably young. I mean, if you can get some bears where the canines are all broken off for
Really?
sort of.
After taking samples of blood and fur, we get to work measuring the bear's size.
Okay. For all the bears that we handle, we take a standard set of measurements. We take measurements of body length. So you just pull tight.
Yeah, it's tight.
And this is 230. And then the measurement of its girth around, and we can put that into a mathematical formula, and that gives us an estimate of the bear's weight.
So what is the situation here with respect to the research you've done for the past 40 years, and how are you seeing things change?
So we're seeing changes in body condition, we're seeing changes in body mass declining over time. This guy is a nice big bear, but 40 years ago, a lot of them would have been much fatter. They are no longer in the same condition that they were, or their ancestors were 40 years ago. They're just simply losing weight, body condition.
As Arctic temperatures rise, Hudson Bay stays frozen for shorter periods year on year. So the bears have less time to hunt on the ice, and when on land, they go hungry. Every year, they're spending more time without food. To find out exactly how this is affecting the bears, Nick needs to fit satellite tracking collars. But he can only fit them on female bears with cubs, so finding them is crucial.
So we just got word from the darting helicopter that they have eyes on a mother and cub. So the mum is darted. Now they have to get on the ground and jab the two cubs. So ever so slowly they've been approaching the cubs, and now they're right on them, and they just use a pole with a dart on the end to give them a small anesthetic. And I can see he's right on them, the pole extended, so he's getting ready to dart them. Ooh! That's the two cubs darted now. It looks a bit intrusive, a bit invasive even. But at this all-important time for the Arctic, this is crucial work. So for an hour's worth of interference, this is the kind of information, the kind of data about the mother's health, the condition of the cubs, that can help to protect these incredible species. And just to be witness to it today is mind-blowing.
Shall I cover the faces of the cubs?
Yeah. We're going to work fairly quickly around
Yeah.
the cubs because they're going to come out fast.
No worries. How old are the cubs?
9 months. They're this year's cubs. So they were born this spring, came out on the sea ice in March time.
Hello, baby. Why are you only collaring mothers with cubs?
We put them out now on females without cubs. They're going to be going into dens. And so for the first 8 months of a collar, we're just going to get a location from a denning area.
Why not the males that we found before?
These collars, the way they work and the way they have to fit around the neck, and you have to cinch them on fairly tight so they don't drop off. Adult males have more traffic cone shaped necks and heads, so their necks are typically wider than their skull. So if you put a collar on tight around here, it just slides off.
So you're getting a wealth of information from all the health checks you're doing, all the sampling you're doing.
Yeah.
What do the GPS collars give you to add to that data set?
It's going to give us some indication of how much they're moving. Some of the information we're getting from the collars and the females is that it seems that their home ranges are expanding. They're going further afield out onto the sea ice.
They're traveling more, they're moving more. That says to me they're using up more energy. That can't be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. You're using up more, which means you have to replenish more. So the double sort of jeopardy on that is they're coming ashore with less fat, and that smaller amount of fat has to last for a longer period of time because freeze-up is occurring later.
Nick's research has revealed that the polar bears have to stay on land for about an extra month every summer. This mother and her cubs are far thinner than they should be at this time of year. And Nick's biggest worry is for pregnant females who need a lot of extra energy to give birth successfully and nurse their cubs.
It's getting dangerously close to a point where there may not be sufficient cubs to replace the adult bears, dying of natural causes or anything. We're not getting this replacement. So the sustainability of this population, it's worrying.
This population is on the decline.
Yeah, it's declining. It's gone from about 1,200 to somewhere just above 800. So it's the numbers of bears here has declined.
Okay.
So everything that we can measure, there really isn't a positive out of all the things that we're measuring for the western Hudson Bay subpopulation. And it's a bit of a warning sign for all the other subpopulations.
Climate change is impacting Hudson Bay sooner than many other areas in the Arctic. So polar bears here may be more affected than other populations. But the 40-year-strong data gathered here provides a worrying glimpse into what could lie ahead for the entire species.
What if polar bears disappear from our planet on our watch? How would it feel to be responsible for the loss of one of our most iconic animals? And if we can't save them, what does that mean for the rest of our natural world?
As the Arctic continues to change, scientists are also investigating how it's affecting one of the region's marine inhabitants, the bowhead whale. And it seems there is a glimmer of hope, because one population has experienced a remarkable turnaround. Bowhead whales can live for up to 200 years. They're the longest living mammal on the planet. Just 100 years ago, the bowhead population off the west coast of Greenland had been hunted almost to extinction. But today, it's bounced back, more quickly than scientists thought possible. So now, they want to find out why. I've come to Greenland to join a team of scientists studying the mysterious lives of bowhead whales.
Greenland is one of the most remote and inaccessible countries on the planet. I'm on the final leg of a 3-day journey to get here. Now we need to get across the water. The ferry can't run yet because there are too many icebergs, so we've managed to wrangle this boat out of the fishing port to get us across.
Greenland is the largest island in the world, but its population is relatively tiny. Over 80% of it is covered by an uninhabitable ice sheet. With the changing climate, the ice sheet is in rapid decline, calving more and more icebergs into the sea. I'm traveling near one of the world's fastest moving glaciers. Every year, it calves off more than 30 billion tons of icebergs.
We are having to wind our way carefully through massive icebergs and lumps of ice, but it is such a spectacular view. It takes your breath away. I mean, just look at it.
I'm on my way to Disco Island, which used to be home to a whaling community. Bowheads in these waters were hunted for their blubber and meat and almost completely wiped out. But since commercial whaling ended 100 years ago, the bowhead population here has recovered. So well, in fact, that scientists want to understand why.
Hey.
Nice to meet you finally. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Professor Jonas Tillman is studying the bowheads, who arrive here from northeast Canada for a few months each year. The whales are drawn to this bay because the water is heaving with tiny, highly nutritious crustaceans called copepods. Bowheads have the largest mouths of any animal on Earth and can eat several tons of copepods a day.
Did you just hear a breath? Did we hear a breath?
Yeah. It's right next to the boat.
Close, actually.
Right there. Oh, they're everywhere.
Exploring the boat.
It's just magical. You can get an idea of the size of the mammal with just the breath.
Yeah.
How big do these guys get?
They get almost 20 meters long and can weigh up to about 100 tons.
Oh,
It's really one of the biggest animals on Earth. Some of them weighing more than the blue whale, the biggest creatures on Earth here, because they're so extremely fat. They're the fattest animal in the world.
they're rotund.
Yeah. Their blubber layer is about 50 centimeters all over the body, and that means that they really don't feel any cold. I mean, they never freeze up here. They don't care about the temperature.
There's two of them behind us now, actually, look. What are they doing? Is that a deep dive, or?
Putting the tail up in the air.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
Again and again, so...
Do we have any idea what this means?
No, I've never seen this before. It's some kind of communication between the whales up there. It might be a male and female, and there's some courtship going on, or some display, because the other whale is just lying there, kind of watching, and the other one is showing off.
It's kicking off as usual, showing off its tail slapping abilities. It's beautiful to watch.
Because bowheads spend so much of their lives underwater and ice, there is still so much we don't know about them. And one of the biggest mysteries is just how the population here might have recovered so quickly when there were barely any left.
They haven't been here for 100 years, and now there's about 1,500 in this bay here during winter and spring. So it's an extraordinary increase for such a large animal in a relatively short time.
They weren't just breeding well and recovering. It was just far too high for that.
Yeah, we only had about 100 animals left. That would take a long time to actually make it up to 1,500. We couldn't really explain by just reproduction. It's quite crazy, and we really don't understand exactly what happened.
To work out how the bowhead population might have recovered so well, Jonas is turning to satellites. He's fitting tags on the whales that will track their movements from space.
With this tag, you can actually follow. It's like being on the back of the whale, way down, 500 meters down, up again, and around in our oceans.
Fitting the tags is a dangerous job. A 100-ton whale could easily capsize our small boat, sending everyone into icy water. Cold shock can be fatal and is a very real possibility.
See you later.
Yeah.
So no one stays on the boat unless absolutely necessary.
Thanks.
The plan is to get close enough to a whale for Johannes, Jonas's colleague, to attach the tag using a long pole.
Johannes has to stand in that metal frame at the top of the boat so that as he leans as far as he can to reach the whale, he doesn't fall in. It's a big target, but they've got to get that tag on its back, not on its side. So it's pointing straight up to the satellite. And it's not as easy as it sounds. There it is. Whoa. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly how to anticipate it. He could just gently do it now, couldn't he? No. So close. Here we go. We're right under their boat, right under it. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was incredible just to watch him in action and position that. I mean, that is no small feat.
Vi klarede den. Godt gjort.
Jonas, are you happy with the position?
Yeah, well, we have to. It's hard when everything is in action, but it looked very good.
Well done, guys. That is an A team.
With the tag fitted, Jonas will be able to track this whale's movement for months by satellite. And data already gathered from other tagged whales has led to a surprising clue about why their numbers here may be increasing.
So it's a possibility that some of the Alaskan whales came into this area and then moved over here. The first ones coming here found out that we had this great feeding place, perfect copepod concentration, so you could feed here and become really, really big. They come here to feed, and then it probably told all the other ones, "Come here, let's go feeding," because it was this famous place for bowhead whales, and then they bring all their friends.
As the Arctic has warmed, causing sea ice to break up, new ocean passageways have been created. This has allowed whales to move to new areas and to benefit from the bounty there. But Assistant Professor Fredrik Christiansen believes something else is contributing to the increase in numbers here.
So tell me exactly what your research entails then.
So I'm using drones to measure how healthy or how much fat reserves the whales have. If we can see that the whales are arriving quite thin and then gaining like substantial amount of weight, that means they're probably coming here to build up fat reserves to reproduce.
Fredrik thinks the whales may be gaining so much weight here that they can breed more frequently than scientists first thought. To find out if this might be the case, he needs to measure them from above.
Yeah, there's one right ahead of us, very close
Right there,
actually.
right there, right there, right there. Do you want to get your drone up?
Yeah, definitely. This is perfect condition. Oh yeah. This one is
Look
good.
at that. Perfect. How does the tech measure it? What do you do?
So this drone is equipped with a laser rangefinder. So it's something that measures the altitude from the drone down to the whale.
Gotcha.
And so basically you can use basic trigonometry. You know how big your camera lens is, you know how big the sensor is, and so you can then calculate the pixels you measure in a photograph. You can convert them to meters, and that's where you get the size. I want it when it's stretched out, like now you can see the tail and the tip of the head. When the water movement is as good as possible.
So the top of its head tends to be quite level for the most part, but it's the tail that you want to make sure it's flat.
Because if you don't get the full length, the animal will appear fatter than it is. So this one is, yeah, you can see it's behaving really well. It's hardly moving. And that's why you see the tail is down a bit, because it's chilled. But then it's gonna probably put the tail stretched out just before it dives.
Gotcha.
And that's when we get the good measurements. So.
Yeah, it's just floating there. It's just hanging out.
So now you see it's gonna stretch.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now the tail is coming up, and that's right there is the perfect one.
Stop it. That's perfection. That is.
And then it's probably gonna prepare for a dive. And there's the dive. So.
With this cutting-edge aerial technology, Frederick can work out how much weight the whales gain when they feed here, and whether this might be enough to allow them to breed more often.
They need to have a lot of extra energy to be able to afford to reproduce, basically. They found for other species kind of clear relationships between how much food they have in their feeding grounds and how many babies they have. And I'm sure there's there's a relationship also for the bowheads. We just have to establish that.
The data from drones and satellites are helping scientists to solve the mystery of how bowhead whale numbers here might have recovered. But these magnificent marine mammals face an uncertain future.
The Arctic is changing rapidly because of climate change, and it's going to affect the bowheads both in terms of the temperature, in where they can be, and it's also going to affect the copepods that they are feeding on. Being able to, in the future, predict what happens when this area might change because of climate change, what consequences that's going to have on the female's body condition and reproduction, that's the ultimate goal.
As the Arctic changes, the work of scientists revealing how its wildlife is impacted has never been more important. The grey wolf, the ultimate predator. With incredibly powerful jaws, a highly acute sense of smell, and top running speeds of over 35 miles an hour. But their real strength comes from working together. Wolves live in packs of around 4 to 10 animals, and will harness intelligence and perfectly coordinated teamwork to take down prey far bigger and faster than they are. But even then, successful hunts are incredibly rare. It's a harsh and challenging environment out here. So wolves have to pull out all the stops to find enough food to survive. I'm in Yellowknife, in Canada's Northwest Territories.
I would say we have about 20 wolves collared right now.
Biologist Alicia Kelly has been studying the hunting behaviour of wolves in the Arctic.
So this is the collar you can see for the wolves. It will give out a VHF signal that we can radio track.
She's fitted some wolves with satellite tracking collars, and it looks like there may have been a kill.
There are 2 wolves collared in this pack, and they're in exactly the same spot. That's really exciting because wolves spending time in one place in the winter for a few days means that there might be a kill site there.
I'd love to see a wolf kill. So how long will it take us to get there by helicopter?
45 minutes.
Let's do it.
Spotting wolves in this vast wilderness is incredibly unlikely. A single pack of just 5 or 6 animals can range over a territory 3 times the size of London. But today, a tracking helicopter is on the lookout nearby.
Brent, where is the tracking helicopter now?
He's about 1.5 miles ahead of us here. Trying to follow the wolf track.
Did you just say wolf?
Yeah, they're following a wolf right now.
Wow, that's amazing. Sweet.
What
Whew.
the hell?
I have tracked and seen people track many a wolf set of wolf tracks that didn't end up with a wolf, so.
That is unexpected and fantastic news. What if today's the day? What are the chances of a helicopter coming up on a wolf like this?
They're pretty low. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. But if they can track it, I mean, it's the best case scenario. Any time we encounter wolf tracks or a wolf, then we'll be trying to get a collar out on that wolf.
I'm getting a little bit too excited.
I hope they find it.
I see the wolf! I see the wolf! I'm losing my mind. Sorry, this is way too exciting for my heart. I see it. It's right out in the open frozen lake. Oh, you need to see this, Alicia.
I can't see it.
He's right. They're going to net him. They're going to net him. They're right over him. They're right over him. He's done a U-turn. The helicopter's doing a U-turn. He is booting it towards a bit of tree line, but it's wide open out here. Can you see him?
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah, it's a fox. It's a big ass fox.
Oh, it's a fox?
That is the biggest fox I've seen too.
He was big. That was hilarious. Oh, that's too good. Oh, I need some air. Oh, I need some air.
Well, that was exciting.
The chances of seeing a wolf out here are never in your favour. But just a few minutes later, we find the kill site. If there's meat left on the carcass, the wolves may still be nearby.
Oh my God. A beautiful wolf. My heart is beating so fast. We never imagined that we'd see a wolf with our own eyes. I wonder, like, where the rest of its pack is.
They'll be around watching us, I'm sure.
This pack clearly hasn't finished with its kill.
Oh, there he is again. He's coming back. That is a moment I will never forget.
The wolves will keep an eye on us from a distance. This is a big kill they won't give up easily.
What is it?
My guess is it's a moose.
I'm so aware that I'm walking where a whole pack of wolves have been eating, probably squabbling over the best bits. Look at the work they've done on that.
Yeah, they do still have meat to eat on here.
There's a hole at the side of it.
Yeah. So when they're done, there won't be a lot left.
Is that the shoulder blade? I couldn't figure out what that was. Look at that. The scapula?
Yeah. and they're biting.
They've been gnawing at the
edges of
bone,
it.
getting all the calcium and all the goodness.
Completely stripped of meat, really.
This is really impressive.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything quite like it. They obviously hang out here because they're defecating, they're urinating as well around here.
Yeah. And I bet if we walk up into the trees, we'll find like bedding sites where they've gone and where there's a little more shelter and
to digest.
I don't know.
How long before this is completely devoid of anything nutritious for the wolves?
Another day or two, maybe.
And then they'll move on again.
Yeah. So this is a great meal for the pack.
In the snow, a heavier animal won't move as well. So the wolves have the advantage in the winter, don't they? When it comes to catching something this big.
Yeah.
In winter, heavier animals like moose and caribou are slowed down by the snow, giving wolves the upper hand. But in summer, on firmer ground, wolves lose that advantage. And with breeding females and other members of the pack tied to the dens, looking after young pups, the wolves can't hunt as a pack as often. With her colleague Ian, Alicia has been trying to find out what wolves here survive on during the warmer months.
How different is it to the moose and the bison and the caribou that they're hunting in the winter?
It's completely different.
They switch prey seasonally, quite significantly. So in the summertime, they're mostly eating smaller things, mostly beaver and snowshoe hare. And then a wide range of rodents, skunks, weasels.
But it turns out, small mammals are not their only prey. Alicia's tracking data has revealed a surprising addition to the wolves' diet.
This is collared wolves, and it's their walk lines connecting the dots of where they've been. And so there's a wolf pack here, and you can see they're basically patrolling the edge of the lake constantly. They're going around and around. It's particularly interesting because this den in particular, fish was the most common item in their diet.
Wolves fishing.
Mm-hmm.
How new is this information? How surprised were you when you found that?
We were surprised. In fact, when we were at the den site and collecting the poop, I think we looked at it for a lot longer than we needed to, going, what are these things? And it was like, well, they sure look like fish bones. But our minds just weren't thinking fish. And so it took a while to sort of realize that they were fish bones.
That's amazing.
Evidence of wolves catching fish is extremely rare, although it has been observed before in Alaska. And now, Alicia has discovered that in the middle of Canada, it's happening too. But even more surprising is the fact that the wolves seem to be eating fish all year round. In winter, the lake is covered with 4 or 5 feet of solid ice, so it's impossible for wolves to hunt through it. We're heading out to the exact spot on the lake that Alicia's data shows the wolves keep returning to.
Gosh. What is all this fish? Look at it, there's loads of it. Wow.
It turns out that local ice fishermen have been dumping their unwanted catch here. And even in temperatures below minus 40 degrees Celsius, a wolf's incredible sense of smell can detect it.
So all the wolves are going to benefit from this easy food source. But is this making the wolves lazy?
Wolves are not lazy, they're efficient. Wolves don't win every encounter they have with a moose or a bison. Sometimes wolves don't get their prey, and sometimes they get injured, and sometimes they're killed by, a good bison kick or a moose kick. If a pack knows about a source like this, they're definitely going to take advantage of it.
It's a fascinating discovery that shows just how resourceful wolves can be. They may be one of the Arctic's top predators, but being so highly adaptable, they'll also never turn down the chance to exploit an easy meal to feed the pack. Next time, I'll come face to face with a cliff-dwelling aerial predator. I'll track one of the Arctic's fastest animals.
How do they even do that?
And I'll find out why scientists are monitoring seals from space.
Here in the fjords, this is a very new phenomenon.